Monday edition, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. He is Big Joe Dubin, Emmy Award winner. I'm Chase McCabe, haven't won anything, and Dr. Crane Nick Frazier on the ones and twos. Nani got on him this weekend for his prank phone calls. How we doing, fellas?
Nani. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in to 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
On your radio.
And we're back. Good weekend. Had a good time. Real quick, gets off my chest, everything else. If you are the lead dog at a red light, you need to put your phone down and focusing on being number one.
Agreed.
Again, if you're the lead dog at a red light, go. This guy.
Be Cam Ward. Be number one.
Yeah, right? This guy, Donaldson Pike at Murfreesboro Road, was on his phone. He was the lead dog. I was 4 cars back, and I almost lost my mind. So if you're the lead dog, that's a great responsibility, like Peter Parker had when, what's it called? With great responsibility.
With great power comes great responsibility.
There we go. That's it. So remember that, and so I feel better now.
Okay.
He was number one.
Thank you very much. Also, real quick, before we get into the draft and all this, shout out to your son, JJ, and his plays over the weekend at DCA. I know you really enjoyed that. And I saw the pictures and everything. Looked like you did a great job.
It was a fun time, packed house, a lot of support. A lot of people came out there. So thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Bittersweet. That's the last rodeo for that. So excuse me while I go in the corner and get in a fetal position and cry for a week. But it's all good. We're all good. Today's a good day. Today's a great day. It's going to be a great week.
Well, let's start with the draft. It is finally done. Thank the good Lord. It is finally done. People over the weekend were like, oh, are you sad the draft is over? And I would say things I can't say on the air because it's like, now, you know, I said, look, it got old talking about the same thing over and over again. Now we have new things to talk about over and over again.
Love it, though. But you know what? I'll give you credit. You said they were going to trade out of that, get a number 3 and trade back and trade their number 2. I was like, it's too complicated. And they did exactly what you talked about. They traded that number 2 back and gobbled up more picks. Well done.
So what I'm seeing from all the quote unquote draft experts in looking at the Titans draft is basically anywhere from a B- to an A+ when looking at the Titans draft. Obviously, Cam Ward goes number 1 overall. As Joe mentioned, they did trade out of 35 and go with Olafemi Oladejo, the edge rusher from UCLA. That was the pick that I didn't love, and more time that went by, I loved it less and less. But he's here now, so I'm willing to give it a chance.
Say his name again.
Olafemi Oladejo.
Okay, I had no idea how to pronounce it.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and give a disclaimer. And to my wrestling fans out there, you will get it. I guarantee you I'm going to call this guy Olafemi at least once, and that's a wrestler.
Okay.
Because he goes by Femi. I think Femi Oladejo is kind of what he goes by.
Which guy?
The UCLA.
Okay, all right.
Rusher.
All right.
Yeah. So they take him at 52. He's only been an edge rusher for a year, had 4.5 sacks last year. Obviously, I'm kind of like Jared. I want a sacker, not an edge setter, but we'll see on him. They go Kevin Winston Jr., the safety out of Penn State at 82. The more time goes by with this pick, the more I love this pick.
He's a good
player.
think,
and a lot of people are saying this is the steal of the draft, that I think they got a first-round talent that tore his ACL. Now, and here's what I'm going to say on that, because I know Jared is saying this and other people are going to say this too. He's hurt. Here we go again, taking a hurt player. If you look at all the acquisitions with free agency in the draft that this regime, meaning Borgonzi Brinker, have made, they're getting guys that play all the games. They're not signing hurt guys.
Correct.
So who's to say you can't take a flyer on one hurt guy in the 3rd round? I don't have a problem with it. You took a 3rd round flyer on a guy that basically was graded as a 1st round talent outside of the injury.
I do. I like it. The guy likes to hit.
Yes.
If you're a safety, you want to hit. And I'm like, a safety might get, they need this guy. So if you go across the middle and receivers like, am I getting my block knocked off? Yes, this guy likes to hit. So it's a good pick. I'm with you, man.
Yeah. So I think that is going to be a good one. The 4th round is by far my favorite round of the draft.
Yes.
For those of you that were around for our draft simulation, clearly I was not good with the name here. I'm sure Dr. Crane has this ready to go. But with pick 103, the first pick of the 4th round, the Titans select Shamir DK of the Florida Gators. Not to be confused with how I said it.
Or
Do we have it? No, we don't have it.
Oh my
With
gosh.
I called him Shamir Dyke.
Did you? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, DK.
Well, we laughed because you did 37 draft simulations, and I swear to God, in every draft simulation, you drafted this guy, but you drafted him in like the 6th or 7th round.
Right. And so that's my concern is that now, and I'm actually going to the Titans today, and I'm going to try and ask this question because I do feel like that there were a lot of guys that may have been graded as, oh, this guy was a 5th rounder or this guy was a 4th rounder, but because so many of the players were basically the same, and what I mean by that is kind of the same grade, that you had some guys that they really could have gone 4th, 5th, 6th, and they just were kind of spread all over the place. So I think DK might have been one of those guys that, yes, he might have been there in the 6th round, but clearly they liked him and just went ahead and got him.
I like it too. And I like the fact that now we look at him, I always think about Dimitri Kaladinos. DK.
Oh,
that's how to pronounce his name for them.
Yeah, there you go.
Done.
They go Gunnar Helm, the tight end out of Texas, who I had in a few of my draft simulations. I really like that pick.
But my thing is, why did he was, I thought 80s, 90s right there, 70s.
He fell a little bit. Yeah.
Fell a little bit. A little bit.
But he's a red zone threat. They need a red zone threat, especially with a young quarterback. So I look for him to be a solid addition. And then this, I think, is everyone's favorite pick, probably. Ayamanor, the wide receiver out of Stanford. They actually traded back into the 4th round to get him. I love this pick.
Is that was it the picture of him toasting Travis Hunter?
Yes.
Okay.
All yes. Right. He beat him, like absolutely dunked on him.
I like it. All right.
And then there were people trying to make the excuse of, well, at that point in the game, Travis Hunter had played 60 snaps on offense and 60 snaps on defense. And I was like, don't give me that BS, because if he's going to tout himself as being a two-way player and Jacksonville's saying they're going to use him on that, they got a starting corner and a starting receiver.
Correct.
I don't want to hear that crap. Don't be making that excuse.
I'm with you. And the next one is my favorite player they drafted.
Jackson Slater.
Yep.
The guard.
The guard. I don't care. The interview with him, he looks mean. He looks nasty. He's the kind of guy that's opening the door for your grandmother, letting her into the grocery store. He's also the guy that's going to drive block your ass 50 yards down the field. I'm telling you, I looked at some stuff on him. That's a great pick. And the fact that he came from Sacramento State, the Cats coach. Does radio for Sacramento State. Probably knows this guy well. The guy is a mauler. I'm telling you, you need nasty guys on the offensive line. That offensive line for the Titans in the last 2 years, a bunch of nice guys. You need nastiness. And this Jackson Slater is a mean player. I love
Darren
this pick.
Arbette.
Love it.
Coach Darren Arbette. Yes. We'll need to ask him about him. They go Marcus Harris, the corner from Cal, and then a running back, Khalil Mullins, who said he's named after Superman, Kal-El. He's a running back from Michigan. So there you go. That is the Titans draft. Yeah. The Titans also signed wide receiver Xavier Restrepo from Miami, who, of course, played with Cam Ward at Miami. He did not get drafted. He ran a really bad 40 time at the combine. I think that hurt him. I love the signing. You got 3 young, hungry wide receivers that are going to come in here and try and make this team.
He was the number one, according to 2 lists I saw, the number 1 available undrafted free agent. By the way, kudos to you and your FRA education, because you pronounced all these names correctly, especially Xavier.
Yeah, because people say Xavier.
Yeah, it's not Xavier. So well done, FRA. You turned out a good one over here. $38,000 a year, and Chase was able to figure everything out. Good job.
So overall, I like the draft. I mean, with these guys, hang on, let me finish my thoughts. Okay. All right, Jared, let me finish. Overall, I like the draft, but guess what? It doesn't matter. Let's see it. I got to see everything first. I can like the film. I can like what people write about these guys. I can like the draft grades. I can like what they're going to get up there and say today about why they drafted these guys. Ultimately, I got to see it on the field. how they're going to play,
Sure.
how they're going to fit in this offense and this defense. If Kevin Winston Jr. becomes this guy where he's going to, like a Blaine Bishop Byard,
yeah.
like knock your head off, yes, sir. And guess what? Wasn't it around pick 82 where they got Byard?
Something like that.
Somewhere in there.
Now, is he healthy? I mean, is he going to not be here for camp? I don't.
No, it's an ACL. I mean, so yeah, it's going to be a slow go. But you got Hooker and the guy they just signed, Xavier Woods, that they just signed.
Oh,
so you're
Okay.
good there. Like you don't have to rush him in.
Is there a timetable for him? I had no idea.
No, I don't know. I haven't
Okay.
I haven't looked.
I
So
believe
it's
he got injured in the second week of the season.
okay.
against
So he
Bowling
should be
Green.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he
okay.
actually had the opportunity to come back at the end of the season for Penn State and chose not to. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Well, I am gonna. I mean, I do think we should try effort our buddy Jimmy Frank. I'd love to get his thoughts on him. So we'll see if we'll try. Joe,
Gosh.
call him up real quick.
I'll do that. But overall, your favorite player is Shamir DK.
DK.
And
yeah.
67, round 5, Shamir Dyke, wide receiver, Florida. And then round 6, pick 178, a tight end, Jackson Hawes from Georgia Tech.
You like
Thank
those
you.
Dykes. I mean, that's the Dyke guy, right? From Florida. You got him yesterday in the draft, too,
Sure
as well.
did.
Yeah.
Out of Florida,
Shamir Dyke.
Shamir Dyke. Chase loves that Shamir Dyke. So well done. Well done. He's a good player. Probably not the best player, but he's good.
Here's what I want to know.
Sorry.
In all the times we brought him up, why did no one correct us?
Not a soul. Again, every draft you did, you picked this guy. I'm telling you, and you're like, oh, it's Dyke again. Every time, like, you love this guy because now it's like there's something personal with this. But they got him now. I don't know about him going in the 4th round, but if he's a guy that can come in and contribute right away, boom. Now let me ask you this: how many of these guys, excluding Winston, have to contribute game 1 in September?
That is a good question that we will discuss coming up next. And we want your reaction to the Titans draft. We will get into the Shedeur Sanders stuff. Don't you worry. There's a little bit of a theme in the show today with that
right.
you will catch on with real quick. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We're up and running on a post-draft reaction Monday here on Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Flaming Mouse.
Yes, I'm looking for a friend of mine. Last name Jazz, first name Hugh.
Hold on, I'll check. Hugh Jazz. No, somebody check the men's room for a Hugh Jazz.
I'm Hugh Jazz.
Telephone.
Hello, this is Hugh Jazz.
Hi.
Who's this?
Bart Simpson?
What can I do for you, Bart?
Look, I'll level with you, mister. This is a crank call that sort of backfired, and I'd like to bail out right now.
All right. Better luck next time. What a nice young man.
Jason
yes.
Big Joe. 1025, 1063 the game.
That's a top 10 all-time Simpsons moment.
So good. I'm huge ass. How Mo asked for you'll hear more of these throughout the show.
yes.
Obviously, we're going to get into that. But talking about the Titans draft, one thing I want to hit on real quick before I answer your question of how many of these guys have to, well, I can do that real quick. How many guys have to play, basically be ready for day one? Obviously, Cam Ward is on that list. Oladejo, I would say, is on that list. Winston, no, because of the injury. You need one of the receivers, probably two of them. You really need, two of them, because you're pretty weak at that position. And then I would say Helm probably needs to be at least, a contributor by that point. So, most of your draft, I would say you're going to need right away.
Slater, to me, is going to find the toughest one because he's got to beat out Skoronski and that other guy they signed from the Lions.
Well, I think for him, he's in the perfect spot because he can basically, because I think David Stewart did this too. He can kind of sit for a year, be the swing guy, the backup guy.
Yep.
And then because is it Zeitler that they signed
Yes.
from Detroit?
Yep.
Yeah. He's on a 1 year deal.
Right.
So, basically, and you always have heard Floyd say, I'll find the guard later. Well, here's the guard you found later in the 5th round that you get him ready for next year.
And I think if you Bill Callahan, if you're working with him, let him do a little center.
That's a Bill Callahan special.
Figure it out.
there.
It's good. And then the last two, Marcus Harris and Superman, they probably won't make the team. I'm not going to – this running back out of Michigan.
Look, we'll
fine.
see.
Yep.
We'll see. They need a third running back. Chestnut's on the roster, and he might be the third running back. But, that was a position I was kind of hoping they would pay a little more attention to. But once Sampson and Scatterby were off the board, I was kind of like, okay.
Yep. I'm with you. I'm the Gunnar Helm at tight end. I like that. If he can come in, look, he's got to beat out Chig and that Josh guy. Josh
Wiley.
Josh Wiley. Thank you.
Yeah, but they'll carry 3.
Yeah. So I think he'll push those other two, and that's fine. But Cam's got his tight end, which is great.
Yep, he sure does. So let's see, where was I going to go? Oh, something else. So Cam Ward was introduced Friday after our show. Warren Moon surprises him, hands him the 1, basically gives his blessing that he can wear the 1. Warren met with reporters afterwards, and I think kind of revealed something that he wasn't supposed to reveal, and that is a uniform change is coming. I would assume next year, maybe with the new stadium. I guess he said it's going to be very similar to the Oilers. So that he hopes they don't have to wear the Oilers anymore. But that his rationale is he's given the 1 to him because he'll be number 1 for the Tennessee Titans, and Warren Moon wore number 1 for the Houston Oilers. Let's don't forget old Gary Anderson, who also wore number 1 before it was retired. But I have mixed emotions on it because it's like, why retire a number if you're just going to reissue it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if Warren Moon made the decision truly on his own, which I'm going to assume he did for him to show up like that.
Man, let me pause you there. You think he showed up without any compensation? You're crazy.
Well, no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he got something out of it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just kind of like, why show up and do it like the number's retired? Just let it be retired. Because the other thing too is when Cam was asked about it, he was like, man, it's just a number. Like it's an honor to have it, but I could have just worn 7.
But this is different because all that happened another place in time. I know it's the same franchise. I get that. But that has nothing to do with us in Nashville.
I agree. That's where I'm kind of mixed on it.
So if he wants to wear 1, let him wear 1. Now, for those that did it here, Steve, Eddie, Frank.
I never want to see a 927. And I hate that 89, like there are guys that wear 89, I don't like that.
Who wore it last year?
There's been Jared Cook wore 89.
I know that
Super Null. Didn't he?
Super
Null
Null,
wore it.
yeah, that
he wore
guy.
it. Somebody had it last year, I think.
I don't remember, but I mean,
Chig wears 85, which, I mean, I kind of get it because Derek left, but I mean, he's still the statistically greatest receiver the Titans have ever had.
well, I mean, it's not
you
retired.
can't
so-
retire every number.
Bro,
And,
no.
and like, not every number deserves to be retired.
Who's
And as
playing-
much as I love Derek,
Right.
85 doesn't deserve to be retired. But like 9 and 27, yeah, leave those alone. Don't
Yeah.
wear those anymore.
I'm with you, but it's also remember what they did on that warm April day in 1999 when they unveiled the new jerseys for Nissan or the Titans coming here. I think they do the same thing in April or May of 27. That stadium opens.
So you think they wait
Same
till
thing.
then? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why waste it on that crappy, dumpy Nissan Stadium for 2 years when you could unveil it and
Yeah.
the spring of 27? Everybody gets fired up. And I remember that day vividly when Frank came out and Hendrick came out wearing the jersey and Eddie, and they all went crazy. And was Blaine part of that too, I think?
I think Blaine was part of that.
Yeah. So everybody went crazy.
It
And I
was
remember,
Hendrick, Wycheck, and
Eddie.
Eddie and Blaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people went and bought the jersey. I mean,
Yeah.
it was flying off the shelf.
Here's
So
the other thing too.
I'm with that.
Here's the other thing too. When we talk about throwback weekends and everything, like I love the Oilers look, but to your point, that is, it is Houston's. It's cool to see it every now and then, but if they do this new uniform set and the NFL does a throwback weekend, which I think they're going to do, I want to see the Titans throwback. Like I mean that's my childhood.
Okay.
And like I'm in a generation now where there is a generation now where it's like, okay, it is cool to be nostalgic. Like it's right behind you, Eddie with the white helmet, the two-tone blue and the white pants. Like it'd be cool to see that, come back for a throwback weekend as the Titans. Like I'd love the Oilers too, but if she eventually is like, look, I'm going to let Houston have them, which she won't, but like if she did,
Why would she?
there's no reason for her to do that. But if she did it, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah. No,
You know.
she's not. I mean, the city of Houston hated her father.
Yeah.
Her father hated the city of Houston. She saw what they did to him, in air quotes. So she'll never give that up. But
Yeah.
whatever they unveil in 2 seasons, that'll be great. But if he's wearing one, I got no problem with it. I'm fine with it. 34, though, this is where it's all hypocritical. 34, though, is a little bit for me because it's Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
So why I'm not mad at Warren Moon, I'm a little mad if they did it with Earl Campbell. It makes
Right,
no sense.
right.
And it's just hypocrisy to me in my own world at its finest.
So, Anthony says, did y'all see Lawrence Taylor told Abdul Carter find a new number? The Titans need to take Titans need to take notes. How the hell y'all going to retire a number for someone he hasn't earned or proven bleep? Now let's say Cam comes in and ends up a Marcus. They're going to look real dumb.
Find a new number. I did not hear that. That's great.
No, that's a LT thing to say. Here's the thing about retiring numbers, and this leads us into our next discussion. I mean, there's some places looking real stupid for retiring numbers right now. That's why you need to wait. And that's why not everybody should have their number retired.
I think if you win a Heisman Trophy, you can retire your number immediately.
Okay.
I'm with that.
Did Shedeur Sanders win a Heisman Trophy?
That's the problem.
He did not. And he's now a 5th round pick.
Yeah.
We will discuss that.
Yes, let's do
coming
it.
up next, including the prank phone call. I've been sitting here waiting to talk about this all weekend.
Love it.
Why did he fall to the 5th round? We'll discuss that next. 615-737-1025. It's Chase and Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel. And of course, we are broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service.
Most often, where do you leave me to drink?
Yeah, hello. Is Mike there? Last name, Roch.
Hold on, I'll check. My crotch! My crotch! Hey, has anybody seen my crotch lately? Listen to me, you little puke. One of these days, I'm gonna catch you, and I'm gonna carve my name on your back with an ice pick.
Oh, yes.
Oh boy.
You know, the best part of that is Lisa laughing.
Oh yeah.
She's just crying, laughing in the background.
Chasing Big Joe, 1025,
Oh.
1063 The Game. Here on this Monday, reacting to the draft. A lot of people weighed in about the uniform thing. Logan says, screw the Oilers uniforms, give me white helmets back. Wanting the Titans stuff. Robert says they've let a rookie come in and rip apart the franchise they've been trying to build for the last several years with the history of Houston and now Tennessee. The guy hasn't proven anything, but yet the words that come out of his mouth about a number, one being a Houston number versus the Titans number, it just all feels icky. Well, he didn't really say that. There was more Warren Moon saying that.
Right.
I mean, Cam's kind of handled this right, in my opinion. I mean, he's like, if he had said no, I would have worn 7.
Yeah.
And he probably the only reason he asked Warren Moon was because somebody pushed him to ask.
Yeah, it's a little respect there, make you feel good for the
Yeah.
for the crowd, for the fan base.
It'll
That's
look
all he did.
good. It'll look good. Have Warren come out and give you the number. Just remember, nothing is really authentic anymore.
Nope.
So
Nah, I take that back.
some things are.
When Rand got hired, that was authentic.
I saw that video over the weekend.
Oh yes,
that
so
surfaced.
awful.
Anywho, Shador Sanders was predicted to at one time be the first overall pick, and then the second overall pick, then maybe sometime in the middle of the first round, then 21 to the Steelers, then at some point in the first round, then maybe the second round. Finally, he's drafted in the 5th round on day 3 by the Cleveland Browns, a team that had multiple opportunities to take him. And then when they finally did, their general manager looked like, he had just had some bad sushi.
Do you think there's nothing about this anywhere that Goodell called Haslam and said, "Hey man, do me a solid. We'll help you get out of this Watson contract."
Here's what I think. There's a lot of layers to this, and let me kind of go through mine and before you give yours. I've heard the collusion word thrown out there that, did he piss so many people off with the interviews at the combine that they all colluded like, hey, we're not going to take this guy. Then the prank call happens and then I wonder, somebody needs to take him. Because now we got this to deal with. I don't think it was truly collusion, but I do. I mean, there are some things that just kind of like, how can you miss if you're the draft prognosticators? Like, I know Kuiper's getting beat up today and he should, but how do you miss that bad? Because he wasn't the only one that said that he was a first, second round guy, right?
Right.
I mean, that was like, was the film that bad?
Well, maybe the workouts, maybe all that stuff late to the meetings, the attitude,
yeah.
maybe that all played a part in it. I think.
Yeah. I mean,
you seen the video of him and Shador, Cam Ward and Shador,
yeah,
in the SMU, they're training and they're getting ready to go. And Shador's like, "Hey man, let's cut a song together." Cam's like, "No, I'm here to play football." He's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, come on, man, let's cut a song." He's like, "I'm here to play football. I'm here to work out." And I'm like, "Attaboy, Cam."
Well, wasn't there a quote over the weekend from somebody with the Titans that said we took guys off our board because of their lack of love of football?
I read that somewhere. Yeah.
But again, my question is, because you'll see guys that have an ego or have the personality issues or whatever, but the tape supports still taking him because you can deal with the ego. Like if a guy's good enough, you're going to figure out how to deal with the ego. The film obviously showed them that, this guy isn't worth dealing with his
Look,
BS.
I've watched almost every game he played last year at Colorado. I mean, the guy can throw the ball.
Sure.
I think he's a good quarterback.
He's better than a 5th rounder. So why did he drop to the 5th?
They don't want to deal with the nonsense. They think he's going to bring nonsense where they're not going to do it. It's
his
any
dad
player.
was, and what I laughed at is Shiloh in one of the videos they posted said, well, our dad was our agent, but that hasn't really worked out. So we might have to get an agent.
He said that?
Yeah. So I mean, like, it's just, did they send a message? Was the message sent of, hey, you're not above a team, you're not above a league?
I think so.
So I'm and like, because there were points where I almost felt sorry for the kid, that he was having to go through all this. Because
Right.
again, he's a talented guy. Well, now he truly has to go prove it. Now, I don't know what Cleveland's doing because, they
got
draft Dylan Gabriel. They got five
five.
quarterbacks in the room. We know that Watson's probably played his last down.
Yep.
And he's hurt anyway. But you signed Flacco, you got Kenny Pickett, and then you drafted Gabriel and then Shador.
Right.
So the numbers don't add up there. My guess is they'll trade Kenny Pickett.
That's a Super Bowl winner, Chase. Be careful.
Well, so is Flacco. So,
That's right.
but I think Flacco probably ends up starting the year.
Probably. We'll see. But I just think that the time is you don't want to deal with the head. I mean, it's tough enough being a coach. And
Yeah.
now come here. But if you were approaching these meetings away from the field, showing up late and all that, you can't dispute that. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not putting up with that nonsense. Nobody's greater than the team. So I'm not going to deal with it. The larger thing is now the prank phone call. All right. I was at 18, 19, 20, 20. I prank called people all the time as a kid. Here is the prank call. Which, Dr. Crane, is this from the prank callers angle?
Yes, this video is for both. So
Okay.
once you get one answer, you get it right after.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, is this Shadur? This is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good. How are you, man?
Good. Been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're gonna take you with our next pick right here, man.
This ain't must be legendary.
But you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer, man.
All right. So there it is. All right. So people are up in arms about this. Let me say real quick. I prank called all the time as a kid. We all did. I don't care what circumstances. Didn't Will Levis get prank called last year?
Probably.
I think he did.
And more's coming out that other guys got pranked during
On
this
and
draft
on
too,
and on.
which
It's
that's
a
whole
joke. It's a joke. People do it all the time. I did it. Now here who has to pay for all this. The NFL, I think, is going to come down on the Atlanta Falcons. The
Yep.
kid who did it, his dad is offensive coordinator for the
Jeff
Falcons.
Ulbrich.
Found the number on an open iPad, allegedly, air quotes. Somebody's got to pay for this. It's going to be the Falcons. They're going to come down hard on the Falcons with a fine. So if it happens again, you'll say, look what happened. My God, Falcons will pay $500,000 for this. I think that's what happens. To the kid who did this, yeah, you're a numbskull. We all were. I got no problem with it. I laughed. I'll laugh again. I'll laugh a year from now. I got no problem with it. But the NFL is going to send a message. They're going to find the Falcons, and that'll be the end of it.
I think you're right. I think because now they're like, because the other way to look at it too is the NFL is going to say, well, this is going to take heat off of the teams for, let him drop. It's going to make some of the collusion talk go away. Because you can't I don't think every team called each other and was like, hey, you cool? We're not going to take him, right? All right, we're just going to let him fall. I don't think that happened.
No.
But I understand why it's being brought up. I mean, it certainly looks that way. So yes, I think the NFL is going to come down hard on the Falcons.
Somebody's got to pay.
It's not the Falcons' fault, but it's the Falcons' fault because he's an employee of the Falcons.
Good
and
point.
I was, we were kind of talking about this in our group chat last night where I was like, look, I mean, I get it. It's not really their fault, but a guy that works for them left an iPad sitting out at his home and his dumbass 21-year-old son that we've all been that before.
Right. Yes.
It's like, oh, hey, this will be funny. Let's get with my buddies and let's call Shador Sanders and tell him that we're the Saints.
Right. It is. So the question is, Did you laugh at the prank call, or do you think it's horrible? And that it's either it's
And I
cut
think
or dry.
no, I don't think it is cut because I think like I thought it was pretty crappy, but I laughed at it.
Yeah. Well, that's
And
it.
like
I mean,
I'll
that's-
admit that. Like
but you laughed.
I was like, oh,
But you laughed at it. Now,
and then I'm like, oh, this is
so
pretty
all
bad.
right, better this. Did you laugh or did you not laugh? I laughed my
I
tail off
laughed.
at it. It happens all the time. It happened to him at the moment that was going on. I mean, somebody could have prank called Aaron Rodgers in 05, Lamar Jackson in, was it 17 or 18, whatever it was. It happens all the time. Good Lord. I mean, we would prank call everybody around.
I mean, supposedly Isaiah Bond, who I don't think is signed anywhere because he's got some stuff going on, but he got prank called by somebody pretending to be the Falcons. I mean, it's just so the NFL has now they have an issue. It's like, okay, because these are numbers that they basically dish out that are draft numbers. So it's like, how is this information getting out? That's the problem. And I know we can find just about anything these days, but it's like that's the issue,
right?
Is finding that. You know, as for Shedeur Sanders in the fall, I mean, I wonder if if the prank call thing doesn't happen, does he get drafted at all? I really do wonder that.
So what do you think happened then? That the NFL called the Browns and said,
I
hey,
think no, I don't think I just think like eventually they all felt sorry for him, and it was just like, all right.
if you feel sorry for a guy and you pick him, then you're a sorry ass franchise.
Well, do you see the franchise that picked him?
Exactly. Haslam picked him.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's a really, and the other thing is, if we're not talking about, we're not talking about this if his last name is Dubin or McCabe.
No.
You know, like
right.
This is just like,
but
whatever.
why are some so mad about this? It's a prank call. That's it. No more, no less. It's somebody's moment in life. That's fine. It happens all the time. It'll happen next year. Why are people so mad about this?
Well, I
don't get it.
because honestly, I think people don't know how to feel about him. It's like you want to be like, good, you got what you deserve, and at the same time, you want to feel sorry for him.
That's a really good point.
There are two things that could happen because of this. I'm not saying they will, but they could. And I will tell you what those are. Coming up next, plus we'll get your calls and texts, 615-737-1025. It's Chasing Big Joe on a Monday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Hello, Moe's Tavern, birthplace of the Rob Roy.
Is Seymour there? Last name, Butts.
Just a sec. Hey, is there a Butts here? Seymour Butts? Hey, everybody, I want to see more Butts. Oh, wait a minute. Listen, you little scum-sucking pus bucket. When I get my hands on you, I'm going to pull out your eyeball with a corkscrew.
Yes.
Oh, little Moe's Tavern. Chasing Big
Oh,
Joe 1025, 1063 the game, and some Led Zeppelin on this Monday. Two things. And by the way, I love the text. A lot of mixed reviews on this. Logan says, why video the prank call? I mean, you wanted to go viral.
Why not? Yes, exactly what they did.
Robert, the kid is 21. LOL. I pranked call people when I was like 15. Fair point. Lenny says Shedeur is a talented athlete because of his dad, and he's also professionally obscure because of his dad. That's fair. Fair point.
Okay. Yep.
Gina Spring Hill. Sum it up. We're talking about a prank call. If we're talking about a prank call, it must have been a really slow sports weekend. Who cares?
But it's still, I mean, it's relevant for what's happening, but it's a prank call.
Kevin in Florida, a better discussion instead of Sanders is talking about that tool Mel Kiper Jr. What an ass clown. He also says, I think Big Joe, because it was a prank call from a family member of a coach in the NFL, people see it as worse than if it was from a 14-year-old Big Joe Dubin from Hamsterville, Tennessee.
That's a great place, Hamsterville. Look, if I'm the kid's dad, I'm livid. I mean, I don't know. Can you beat a 21-year-old half to death?
No.
If he's your kid? I mean, the kid's got I full blame on the kid because you put your dad at jeopardy, who has a great job. He's a defensive coordinator of the National Football League. But again, the flip side, it's a prank call.
I think what we're seeing in all of this is it is a great lesson in don't be an entitled little you know what. And I think that there have been too many examples where I do think Shedeur Sanders is a talented quarterback. And you know what? Now everything's on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Well, prove everybody wrong.
There we go.
You know, F around and find out. Prove everybody wrong. Do like Tom Brady did. You want to, okay, you pass on me, pick 199, watch. He became the greatest of all time.
He did.
I'm not saying Shedeur is going to do that, but he has an opportunity to. My thing is, don't be a little entitled, you know what? And that's what he was. Somebody said, and we got a ton of text, so I'm sorry, but 50% of his of what he did was preparation for the draft. 50% was the brand, building the brand, that he was so concerned with building the brand. Well, you know what? The difference is that I see with Cam Ward cares about playing football. That'll build his brand.
Yeah, there's a clip of Brady talking about opportunity, you know, they're getting drafted so late. And Brady says, look, you will get opportunities, but are you prepared to take advantage of it?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's on Sanders. Go ahead and prove himself. And look, if he's fifth, great. I wish that young man all the success in the world. But at the end of the day, it's a prank call. That's it. It's a prank call.
The two things that I think could happen, I'm not saying they will, but had he not been drafted, I definitely think these two things would have happened. But something in this new era that I think we need to be, you know, aware of. Number one, he's a 5th-round pick now. Hypothetically, he can make more money going back to college. He's got a year eligibility left. Who's to say he can't sue the NCAA saying that I can make better wages coming back here, you know, so you have to let me come back?
So he's signed, all right, with an agent, we assume?
He did not. And here's the other thing. That crap doesn't matter anymore because these kids got agents in college. You can't hide behind that anymore. You can't hide behind, oh, he declared for the draft. I mean, I think all that stuff can be challenged. And if it's viewed in a court of law of you are preventing them from making better wages for themselves, they will be allowed to go back.
You are like
that day is coming. And you know who started the train rolling down that track?
Pavia.
Diego Pavia.
You sound like a young Blair Durham.
Thank you very much.
I like this.
Thank
we
you
should
very
call
much.
Mr. Durham up and say, hey, do you have any openings? Because my man.
Hey, they do a great job over there. I'm gonna keep doing my job over here.
Look, at this world, anything can happen now.
And like
Anything.
when we had the coach on, last week, and I brought kind of a similar situation up to him, and he was like, "Nah, I don't think that's going to happen." There's a lot of stuff that's happening now that you didn't think was going to happen 5 years ago.
But do you want a guy who's drafted in 5th round, complains about it, goes back to college to do that? Do you want a guy like that?
If I'm Alabama or Tennessee or Texas or one of these big time programs, no. But if I'm Colorado, if I'm a team that doesn't get that type of notoriety,
All right.
and I know that if I pay a guy a couple $1 million more than he's going to make as a 5th round pick, and I bring him in to be the face of my team for a year, hell yeah, I do.
But if you're an NFL team, do you want him the next year? Do you want the same nonsense? He's not going to change who he is.
Probably not. But at the same time, if he goes and he balls out and he improves on some things,
Right. Somebody sent me a note and said, "What's the difference between his dad and him getting drafted?" Let's don't compare this. Deion Sanders was a generational talent. His son is not. Deion was amazing in college. Had the famous line when the Falcons drafted him, "I'm going to ask for so much money, they're going to put me on layaway."
Yep.
Deion is not Shador. Shador is not Deion. Deion was amazing. This is not the same thing, not even close in all this. So I don't want a guy who complains about getting drafted, goes back to college, comes back. I don't want a guy like that.
Well,
you have an opportunity.
I'm not saying
he has a great opportunity now in Cleveland. Great.
I agree. I'm just saying it's probably not going to happen in this situation, but do not be surprised if it doesn't happen in the future. The other thing that could happen, I go back to the whole collusion thing. If in fact there was any collusion at all, they got a lawsuit.
Yes.
And the NFL is definitely hoping. Oh, I see what you just did. And the NFL has to be like, "Oh, please, 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 good Lord."
Oh, this is by far not over. No. And the prank call is added to it.
Do you think he reports to camp?
Yeah.
I do too.
I
but
do.
I mean, would you be surprised if he didn't?
Of course.
I mean, it would add to the whole
You don't
thing.
report to camp, you are truly showing who you are.
Yeah, right.
Go to camp. Get it done. You have the opportunity now. Prove everybody wrong. We want to prove everybody wrong. Go do it. You got a great shot there to do that. Look, I think he's a good quarterback.
I think he's better than a 5th rounder. I get it.
He's better than that thing from Louisville that got drafted. 1,000 times better
He's
than Louisville.
better than Will Levis.
Yeah.
And Will Levis was a 2nd round pick that's still on the team.
Right.
Like, I'll give him that. But they humbled him because everybody is tired of these entitled kids that, come in here thinking that they're, doesn't stink and, put me on the radio or put me in the football game or whatever. I say this all the time. The guy sitting behind the glass busts his ass every day because he's learned to earn it. Because he doesn't come in here and expect things to be handed to him. I busted my ass for years to get to where I am, just like you did, because I didn't come in here saying, "Oh, I went to school for 5 minutes. Give me a show."
Get it, man. Look,
like
opportunities.
But that's the problem. And then kids see a guy like Shador Sanders wearing, gold and all this crap, saying like, "Oh yeah, look at my brand. Look at my brand. I got to put my brand on social media." When he's good, like he is good enough that the play should speak for himself. But he's got to go out there and be like, "Look at me, look at me, look at me." And then he pisses off 32 NFL teams that don't want to deal with this bull. You know what?
All right. So when I go to bed at night, I do 2 things. I thank God for blessings and I ask God for opportunities. That's it. It's that simple. Don't give me this or that. Give me opportunities. When the opportunity shows up, take advantage of it, work it, get it done. He has a blessing. He got drafted. He has an opportunity now to make a mark in the National Football League with really not much pressure. You're at the Browns. You're a 5th rounder. Go in there and get it done. What a story this will be if he makes it and starts and becomes a success. Hell, that's better than anything going on right now with him. What a story he will have.
Sure.
Do it that way.
Sure. And look, I saw Jared's tweet over the weekend of how quick can the ESPN turn around a 30 for 30. Because, I mean, they got one. And, like, there will probably be one on Shador Sanders one of these days. But to your point, that's the opportunity he has in front of him now. Now you shut up, go do the work.
Right.
Be like, "Hey,
pretty simple.
You draft me in the 5th round, hold my beer. Watch what I'm about to do."
Why is he drinking?
Why do you got to do that on everything? You know what I mean.
Just the quarterback room to just put reference to all this. Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
5 marquee names right there in one quarterback room.
And according to our friends at Music City Bets, via I think this is DraftKings, quarterback to take first snap for the Cleveland Browns regular season week 1. Kenny Pickett is the favorite at -110. Shedeur Sanders second +175. Dylan Gabriel at +500. Joe Flacco at +1200. Deshaun Watson +1500.
Pickett, really?
I mean, that does. I said Flacco earlier, but that actually does make sense. Bring Flacco in through, training camp and all that stuff.
Right.
You probably cut him or trade him, because there'll be a team looking for look, honestly, if I'm the Titans, I would rather have Joe Flacco come in here and be the backup to Cam Ward than what they currently have.
So the Browns get a little trade option for everybody right now. Huh.
What if Shedeur Sanders is starting week 1?
I love it. Then he earned it. Then he earned to be the starting quarterback in the National Football League. I love it.
We will continue this discussion with Brett Kern, former Titans punter. He will join us coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hour number 2, Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Monday. A lot of draft talk, a lot of passionate draft talk here on the show. We continue now with former Titans punter Brett Kern, who joins us every Monday. Brett, what's up?
What's going on?
Well, we're just kind of breaking it down. Unfortunately, I mean, we've talked a little bit about the Titans draft, and we obviously will get your opinion on that. But Shedeur Sanders has been the topic for a lot of people. He was looked at as a first rounder. He ends up being taken by the Browns in the 5th round. I'll leave it very open ended. You take it where you want to go. What do you think happened with this whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot that comes with Shedeur. I mean, there's stuff off the field with the brand and everything that comes with that, and then obviously on the field. I think on the field the play's there, right? But we don't know what happened fully in interviews, at the combine. We don't know, workouts, all that kind of stuff. And I think it's just one of those situations where we don't really fully know what happened. But obviously for all 32 NFL teams, and I know they want to, say collusion and all that kind of stuff, to be able to pull that off with 32 teams all to be on the same page, I think is extremely difficult. And so, if you compare it to, like, let's say Tyreek Hill and his off the field issues over the years, right? That's a little different, in essence of having an all pro, at most of the time, one of the most dangerous threats, one of the best receivers at times in the league, right? Compared to somebody that hasn't even played an NFL down and is potentially going to be your franchise quarterback, right? It's different. And so, I think a lot of teams, they get their guys, first round, obviously, like what the Titans do with Cam Ward, or even the 2nd round. And then you get to the 3rd round. It's like, yeah, you have your Russell Wilson there, right? 4th round, you got your Dak Prescott, your Kirk Cousins that have been drafted in the past. But it's not necessarily teams are looking for, like, the guy once you get past that, probably 2nd, 3rd round. So I think there's a lot to it. There's a lot that we probably don't know. But yeah, I mean, that stuff happens. I think it was just such a high profile because of his name and his brand and how, he was hyped up to. I mean, I remember it wasn't that long ago they were talking about, well, you going to take Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders as the number 1 pick, right?
Yeah.
And one has stayed true to who he is and what he's about and been very consistent through the process. And the other one's kind of all over the place and obviously slid to the 5th round.
Brett Kern is with us. I kind of look at it like this, when we say off the field, he doesn't get in trouble off the field. He's just, I think what we've learned is he's got a little bit of arrogant, entitled pain in the you-know-what. But is that all enough to outweigh what the film shows you to make him a 5th round pick? I find that really hard to believe with some of the personalities that NFL coaches and executives have to put up with.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand 1st round, maybe 2nd round, maybe end of the 2nd round. I can understand a slide like that because we've seen slides like that before, not to that degree, but it does happen. But to go all the way to the 5th round was pretty surprising to me. Like I said, I mid 2nd round, into the 2nd round, early 3rd round, but 5th is pretty crazy. But a distraction is a distraction, whether it's off the field, Ladarius Sneed type stuff that you have, or Tyreek Hill, or kind of legal type stuff. Xavier Worthy. I mean, the list goes on and on. It happens every year with guys and off the field issues, right? And then also comes that this is going to be your guy, like your franchise quarterback, right? That you're trying to pick, and so I think a lot more comes with a quarterback and the traits, the character traits, and on the field, off the field, who you are, how you operate yourself. It's a lot, and I think it's something. If you're going to take somebody really early, you better be darn sure that you're confident in who that person is and the traits that they have. And I think Shedeur just had some of those issues that teams were like, yeah, we don't feel comfortable doing it. And I think that's why he slid.
We're talking to Rick Kern this morning on the Chasing Big Joe show. All right, Brett, let's talk Titans draft choices. Chase has a favorite. I've got a favorite. Anyone that stood out for you that's a favorite after the 1st round pick, like, I really like this guy, is going to come in right away? Anybody comes to mind for you?
You guys probably coming from an offensive and defensive situation. I always looked at the draft as who can benefit us on special teams. which sounds crazy, but you get a lot of these guys that come in, especially the late round guys that maybe won't necessarily start on offense or defense. They might have to, right? I'm trying to find, I look at a lot of the undrafted guys, the free agents, and those are all over the place right now. Signing bonuses have to be allocated, and it's a little bit more negotiation than you would think. So there's a lot of reports. I mean, I've seen up to 6 or 7 DBs signing with the Titans for undrafted free agents, right? But, you look at a lot of those guys that can come in and who can make an impact, yes, in their specific position room, but who can make an impact on special teams. Because some of these guys, 6th-round picks, undrafted guys, even 5th round, I mean, where they're going to make their hay early in their career is special teams. And so I loved the 6th-round pick, Mullins, the running back from Michigan, big dude, 6'1", 226. He played linebacker, right? So he's played linebacker. He knows how to tackle, and he switched over to running back. So now he knows how to run. And to me, that's got special teams, like a 4-core guy written all over it. And I love that.
Well, I mean, especially if he comes in, he can contribute right away on special teams and provide that depth. I'm with you, man. I think when you get those 5th, 6th, and 7th round guys, if you can hit on one of those, man, you got something good. Like David Stewart, they had that. Cortland Finnegan, who played there. So there's a lot of potential. I like it overall. And I got Cam and all that to lead the team. Are you on board, Brett, with him starting game 1 in September? You know what Camp's like. You know what those quarterbacks go through. But are you on board him starting game 1?
I mean, I don't think he has a choice. I mean, you could start Brandon Allen maybe to start the year, right? But I think the biggest concern was the offensive line and the depth per se. And I know they went out, and drafted Jackson Slater, right? A guy he could play guard, center, and I think from the sound of it, he sounds like a nasty dude, which is what you need on the O line. And if you got you bring another like swing tackle that can play left, right to add to the depth, right? I think the biggest concern was, can they protect Cam and give him time, give him space to operate, right? And we were talking about receivers and like, oh, does he have any weapons or anything like that? That receiver room went from, well, I mean, you got Ridley. I mean, now you got an older Tyler Lockett, right? And now you get DK, you got Minor, right? You get some of these guys. You got his boy from college, right? Which, barring if that dude runs a 4.5 at his pro day, the Titans don't get him. He's going early, right? And just ran a poor 40 time. I don't know why. He might have been 100%, might have been feelings. We don't know. But for somebody to run that kind of time, but then the production that he's had in college, I mean, he's Miami's all-time leading, receiving yards, catches, over 200 catches. I mean, the guy's got the stats, right? So to bring him in to maybe have Cam feel comfortable of getting things going. I think like I said, my biggest concern was, can they protect Cam when he goes out there? And I feel like on paper, right, they've done enough to address the offensive line, but that's on paper, right? Paper doesn't necessarily mean it's going to translate onto the field. So
right.
I think they've done enough that I think he'll be okay. Like, I'd much rather prefer him to sit and just kind of wait and take it all in and watch. But like I said, I think they've maybe done enough for him to go out there and start day 1.
Brett Kern is with us, former Titans punter. I said this before the draft that I do wonder if they would try and move Will Levis, because now, I mean, it's pretty clear that he doesn't have a role here. I mean, he just, Brandon Allen's going to be the backup. Cam's the starter, most likely. So to me, even though I think Will is a good young man, he's not going to cause trouble. It's still, there's going to be a giant mayonnaise eating elephant in the room that, in the quarterback room that you don't need there as a distraction to your rookie. And, you need to do right by Levis and let him get a new opportunity. So they didn't trade him during the draft. I know they certainly could move him, here in the next few months. I don't believe he's on the team by the start of the season. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to see how that works, because I did think that, I think that's a lot of personality in a quarterback room. Be great for competition, I'll tell you that much. Which would be awesome. But I don't know. I thought maybe they would trade him. Obviously, I think they're just going to let him go at it and kind of see what happens. There's other guys, potentially on the team. I mean, like like I said, this wide receiver room is now crowded, right? What do you do with Traylon Burks? He's coming off of an injury. Is he going to be healthy? Missing reps potentially, in these OTAs and all that kind of stuff. And so I'll be curious to see, is it one of those things where, you obviously want Cam to be able to play in the preseason. You don't want to play him too much because it is a preseason, but then are you giving Will like a ton of time, right? Brandon Allen's a proven quarterback. We'll know the system. Obviously we'll get some reps, but is this one of those things where you let him compete, you let him battle it out? Obviously Cam's the favorite, obviously, but is Will getting a bunch of reps in preseason to potentially, trade him for a 7th round pick, right? I don't know. But that quarterback room is, it'd be pretty crazy too. I'd love to be a fly in the wall in that quarterback room.
Well, okay, so let me ask you this. Let's say he stays here. You're in the room, and we know you caused a lot of problems. In the
Yes.
no, just kidding.
Yeah.
You're
Hey, I tell you what, I missed one meeting in my whole career. We were Rob Baronis and we were roommates, and we flew out to San Diego to play the Chargers. And I had no idea that Coach Fisher changed the meeting to when we landed. And Coach Alan Lowry didn't tell Rob and I. And Rob and I went back to the hotel room. We took naps. We woke up, went down to the team meeting room. Nobody there. Like, hey, you guys missed the team meeting. I thought I was going to get cut, fined, you name it. But that was my only really trouble. That and giving a haircut when I wasn't supposed to and got fined for that. But those two things, I was clean.
Well, look, your locker was over by the quarterbacks. Okay, so you knew those guys very well.
Yeah.
What happens in the room if Levis stays on the roster and we go through training camp and Levis is the better quarterback? And if you're truly gauging it on who wins the job by performance, that he has a better performance and by all practical purposes should win the job, but we know he's not going to. What happens then? What's the talk in the locker room?
Why are you doing these what ifs?
I know, man. I have to.
No. Well, I mean, they're going to compete, and obviously, if Will's still here, he'll be here until he's not, right? Or if he just stays. I don't know what the Titans are thinking, but I think it'll only add to the competition, right? Because Will's a very competitive person. You've seen it last year, in games and all that kind of stuff, and I think obviously Cam is too. They're very competitive, so I think the competition between the two will only make him better. And that's great. If Will Levis gets better, that's what you want. Because if he does stay and he's the backup quarterback, or even if he's the third, right, you want your quarterback, your backup to be able to come in and try to win you a game or two if you have to. We'll hope it doesn't come to that. If Cam starts, you want him to start all 17 games and have a great season. But it's the NFL. Everybody gets hurt at some point. Some guys can play through it. Some guys can't. But really, all you want is competition in every single room, right? You have 10 DBs in the room. You want the best competition. Like I was counting, the 13, 14 wide receivers in the room. You want competition, right? Punters, kickers, you want competition because that's the only thing that's going to make your team better in driving. Because when someone's coming for your job, it takes you to a level that you didn't think you can hit. And I think that's what the Titans are trying to create, just competition in every room so that they can assemble the best roster come opening day.
We're talking Titans punter, former punter Brett Kern. Brett, if Chase came in and asked for number 6, would you give it to him?
I mean, Nick Folk had it. Other guys have had it.
Sly has it now, I think.
For Chase, yeah, I would give it to him.
So
I'm not retired. I mean, my number's not retired. Anybody can take it.
But it's your number, though, Brett. It means something to you. I mean, when you see Nick Folk wearing that, does it mean anything, or does it like, oh man?
I've had multiple people been like, "Hey, man, I didn't know you were still playing." I was like, "I'm not." But yeah, it's just a number. I don't know. It's sentimental to some people. Other people, they could care less. And I love 6. I wore it for a long time. I felt like tried to represent the city the best I could and the organization, and wearing the number 6 proudly. If I had number 20 as a punter, like I would do the same thing. So a number's a number, and Chase, you can have number 6.
Thank you.
So, well, it's probably more for Shea Weber than it is me, but that's okay.
All right, before we let you go, look, you're a good soul. You got a good heart. You're a great teammate. You mean to tell me that when Fisher or Malarkey or Munchak brought in other punters, that didn't make you mad?
Oh, it made me mad, but I knew I wasn't going to get beat out by him.
Yeah.
Stonehouse.
So that was okay.
Uh,
You're okay with competition when they brought in multiple, even though you knew you were the guy.
Yeah, like I said, it took me. When you don't have competition, you experience complacency, and when you have complacency, you're not getting any better. And so when they brought in competition, my goal was to my goal was to see how early I could get him cut by how I outpunted him. Like that was my goal. Because I got a family at home. I have goals. I have aspirations of getting to where I wanted to get in the league, and I was going to do everything I could to not let anybody get in the way with that, right? And obviously, there comes a certain time and a point, like when I went up against Stonehouse, where I was like, physically, I cannot outpunt this guy, right? And it happens, right? I mean, I was 36, almost 37 at the time, and he's 22, right? That's tough, but anytime they brought somebody in, yeah, I'd be mad. I remember watching undrafted guys come in and, all right, who's this punt? Man, I Google that guy right away, look at his stats, look at his videos, and I'd be like, yep, got him. All right, here we go. And, this competition just makes you better. As much as it might bother you, it makes you better.
Well, I know you can't outpunt Stonehouse, but you could put X-Lax in his brownies. So there's ways around that, Brett.
I'm not that like, well, the funny part was that, you remember way back, like it was a third string punter at Colorado State, stabbed the leg of the starting punter.
Yes.
Right. And then Stonehouse was coming from Colorado State, and I'm thinking, great, this might be a repeat just at the NFL level. But then I got to know Stoney, and I was like, oh, he's a good kid. He would never do that. But I did, I wish I had eyes in my back just in case.
Oh, man. Brett, great stuff. I appreciate the insight. We'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Y'all have a great week.
You too. Brett Kern, former Titans punter, joining us here on the program. Really good insight from him on a lot of the things. We will kind of reset, talk draft, and much more coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
her sense of humor.
Oh, Stefan.
Hello, is Al there?
Al?
Yeah, Al. Last name, Kaholic.
Let me check. Phone call for Al. Alcoholic. Is there an alcoholic here? Wait a minute. Listen, you little yellow belly rat jackass. If I ever find out who you are, I'll kill you.
Oh, but one of my favorites is like Marge sends Bart down to Moe's to get Homer, and Bart's like all worried, and walks in, and Moe immediately like is like, "It's you, little Bart Simpson," and Bart thinks he's gonna kill him, and then he's like, "Do that little thing you used to do."
Can you imagine if they allowed Mo to cuss on that right there?
Oh, it's so
Good
good.
Lord.
By the way, one quick note that nobody cares about, but I think it's cool. How about the Washington Commanders going back to the old RFK Stadium site where they're going to build a new stadium? The renderings look really cool. So there you go, another team getting a new barn.
Only if they build it like RFK Stadium was.
It's going to have a roof because that's really where all this is going, and they need that. But it's gonna. I think it's gonna have some similarities to it, but with a roof. There's a cool rendering of it's a glass roof with a glass window in the end zone, and you can see the Capitol.
Okay,
So it's
pulling
kinda-
up right now. Are
kinda
they
cool.
going to screw the public the way the Titans screwed Nashville getting the
Probably,
stadium?
I don't know.
Okay, $2.7 billion to build the stadium. It says.
Yeah, but that job gets done, and so cool that they're getting a new stadium. So.
$1.1 billion comes from public funds. All right, get me off my soapbox.
There you go.
Because the NFL could literally write a check for $3 billion to each NFL team to build stadiums. But when everybody is saying, okay, we'll do this for you, I see why they don't do it. But good for DC.
So the draft, of course, in the books. By the way, we missed some calls earlier. We were kind of soapboxing. So if you want to call back, 615-737-1025 is our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Overall with the Titans draft, I mean, again, it's a wait and see. I like a lot of what I see on paper, but I need to see it play out and see how these guys work. I think the Ward discussion is a good one. He's going to start week 1. I think we all know that. But do you agree with my, sentiment that, I mean, I'm not saying Levis is going to beat him out, but he very well could, because he's been in the system and he's been here for a couple of years. So he could look better.
Brother.
Hang on. Let me finish.
Okay.
He could look better this training camp. And if in the moment he looks better, I think that's not a look that you want.
If he beats out Cam Ward, they should all be fired. All of them. If Cam Ward gets beat out by Will Levis, all those front office should be fired immediately and just put a job thing on Indeed. We're hiring for front office people. No experience necessary.
I would apply.
I would too. Will Levis is not good. We saw him. He had ample opportunities to do well. He did not. Moving on. Trade him, cut him, whatever. He does not need to be here. Cam Ward we trust going forward. But if Will Levis beats out Cam Ward, Amy Adams would never let that happen, by the way.
No.
She'd say no matter what, Cam's going to start. But my Lord, if that happened. Probably not.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that.
No, but I do look. I like Xavier Restrepo. I'll put him at slot. Let him run. Let him go. Let him be Cam's guy. You got a good tight end in there. Hey man, as we go again, sound the alarm. You just got to beat 3 other teams. That's it. You don't have to beat 15 other ones. Just beat your division. Get to the playoffs.
So there's a Twitter account called Sleeper Titans that is the first that I've really seen. That's like, hey, I mean, am I crazy for thinking this team could go to the playoffs and all that stuff? They say, who is stopping this offense? Cam Ward, your running backs, Tony Pollard, Tajay Spears, receivers, Ridley, Ayamanor, Lockett, DK, Restrepo, tight ends, Okonkwo, Helm, and then the rebuilt offensive line.
It's better.
On paper,
it's better.
You feel better. It looks better. I gotta actually see it. It does. I do feel better. Like I look at it, I'm like, okay, they addressed positions of need, but I'm not ready to say like, oh, here we go, Super Bowl, let's go.
Right. Have you seen the Micah Parsons clip when they drafted a guard, the Cowboys?
No,
I mean, it's just utter like what
was it like me?
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are we doing? Now I like what they did night 2, but yeah,
They took the Alabama guard at 12. And
I pulled a Jared. I'm like, you drafted a guard,
right?
A guard.
And it was the look on his face was like, my goodness. So now anytime anybody drafts a guard or a center, I'm like, oh, why don't you just wait to get that guy later on? It's pretty funny.
Now we have an account called Cam Ward Muse. I asked AI to predict Cam Ward's Titans career.
Okay.
This should be okay. Well, I can do this real quick. 2025 rookie year, 310 of 510, 60.8% completion percentage, 3,500 yards, 21 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 48 carries for 260 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 fumbles. Immediately steps in as the starter, makes a difference, shows flashes of being a superstar. Finalist for Offensive Rookie of the Year, record 5-12.
Ouch.
2026 sophomore leap, 67.3% completion, almost 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 60 carries, 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. Ward takes a step forward, cutting down on the turnovers and showcasing better decision making. His chemistry with Restrepo is finally showing, with X getting his chance out of the slot. Titans just miss on a wild card spot, 8-9. Okay. 2027 breakout season, 66.6%, 4,300 yards, 31 touchdowns, 9 picks, 55 carries for 310 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 fumble. Ward emerges as a borderline Pro Bowl candidate. He throws for over 4,000 yards, a mark he hit in Miami, and his interception rate continues to drop as he learns to avoid risky throws. The Titans lose in the wild card round, 10-7. Okay, so let me stop right there.
All right, thank you.
Because I will say that is a realistic timeline. Fair?
Yes.
That's a realistic timeline to go from 3 wins to 5-6 wins to 8-9 wins. And then that leap is harder to make. So 10-11, somewhere in there. That to me is a realistic timeline.
All right. Now
basically, within 2 years, you're a wild card team.
Now, if you do it again, it's completely different. So
Probably.
to me, it's a colossal waste of time to go in there and do all that stuff.
I know. Here's the funny one. 2029 MVP. 70% completion, 4,700 yards, 39 touchdowns, 8 picks, 60 carries, 350 yards, 6 touchdowns, 1 fumble. Ward gets his first MVP in year 5 with an outstanding season all around. Titans represent as AFC champions, and Ward leads them to their second Super Bowl appearance. However, they fall short to Philadelphia, 34-24, record 12-5.
Okay. I mean, they'll take all that.
If in 5 years you're losing the Super Bowl, Titans fans, sign me up right now.
Okay.
But that's a big what if.
Yeah, I mean, AI tells you kind of what you want to hear and what you want to feel. It's, to me, I don't get in all that stuff because it's not real life. So we'll see how he goes in September.
They say, and then 2030 NFL legend, 4,800 yards, 38 touchdowns, 9 picks, 70 carries, 420 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 fumbles. Ward finishes second in MVP, but leads the Titans to the 1 seed for the first time in his career. The Titans once again sweep the AFC and find themselves in a rematch with the Eagles. Ward's historic Super Bowl performance helps the Titans get revenge against Philly, 38-33. He was 29 of 39 for 358 yards and 4 touchdowns, 6 carries, 27 yards, and a touchdown in the Super Bowl win. They
Good
go
Lord.
13-4 that year.
A lot of stats.
A lot of stats. So thank you, AI, for getting us all worked up for no reason.
Right.
Sign me up.
Sign me up, right? Thank you for sending that. We'll continue the discussion coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service.
Hello, is Homer there?
Homer who?
Homer sexual.
Wait 1 second. Let me check. Homosexual? Come on. One of you guys has got to be homosexual.
Don't look at me.
No. You rotten little punk. If I ever get a hold of you, I'll sink my teeth into your cheek and rip your face
You'll
off.
do what, young man?
What? Wait, who is this?
I think the real question is who is this and where is Homer Simpson?
Whoa. Sorry, Principal Skinner. Sorry. It's a bad connection, I think. God, it's for you. I think Bart's in trouble again.
No!
That's Nick Frazier that played that. So
Oh, what a great scene.
take it up with him.
What a great scene.
I forgot about that with
Oh,
Principal
man.
Skinner. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063. The game on this Monday, we've obviously been breaking down the draft. And join 1025 The Game live on location is DVD broadcast from Accent Buildings hiring event on Wednesday from 11 to 2 in Portland at 214 Fountainhead Road. The hiring fair runs from 9 to 3, and there will be food trucks during the lunch hour. More details at thegamenashville.com/events. So go by and see them. A couple of odds. Paul Kaharski put this out, but per BetOnline AG, some lines for Cam Ward. You tell me what you think on this. Cam Ward passing yards over under 3,200 and a half. So basically,
16 game. Yes.
Okay.
They'll be behind a lot of games. They'll throw the ball.
Cam Ward total passing touchdowns over under 19 and a half.
Absolutely.
Cam Ward total interceptions over under 12 and a half.
Over.
Yeah.
Way over.
I think I go
20.
3,200 is right at it for me.
17 games.
Yeah.
That's less than 200 yards a game. What a joke. Yes.
I'd say over for all three.
Yep.
Seems about. I mean, 20 is probably 20 touchdown. Like if he goes 20-20, I wouldn't be surprised.
He goes Hugh Downs.
He goes Hugh Downs.
Yep.
So
all the way with you, man.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
good. I'm glad. I forgot what else I was going to say.
That's
Good
okay,
stuff.
buddy. Go to break.
Couple. Yeah, we got to do that. Somebody's yelling at us about uploading the podcast, so that adds to me yelling at people today. I don't
Come
know.
on. Is that David James' fault again?
Probably. No, David does.
Let me see when he have him report to me when he gets in there.
I will do that.
Thank you.
615-737-1025. Coming up next, we'll tell you what day it is and celebrity birthdays. Also, let me tell you about Nashville's best deal. It's Prince's Hot Chicken, the original and iconic hot chicken joint. For a limited time, grab half off a $25 gift card at thegamenashville.com/deals.
B.
Yeah, just a minute, I'll check. B.O. problem? B.O. problem. Come on, guys, do I have a B.O. problem here?
You sure do.
Oh, it's you, isn't it? Listen, you, when I get a hold of you, I'm gonna use your head for a bucket and paint my house with your brains.
Bart, I want you to go down to Moe's Tavern. I need you to bring your father home. Excuse me, I'm looking for...
Wait a minute. I know that voice. If it isn't Little Bart Simpson, I haven't seen you in years.
That's right. That's my pop.
Oh, Little Bart, we hear all about your monkey shines. Bet you get into all kinds of trouble he don't even know about, am I right? Huh? Am I right?
Yeah, well, I make some prank phone calls.
Ah, that's great. Hey, would you sing that old song you used to sing for me?
Mo, for you, anything.
So good.
Yes.
Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063 The Game on this Monday. This show has flown by. Thank you for the participation and the fun. We'll continue the draft discussion, of course, with DVD and Stillman and Company and Robbie and Rexroad tomorrow morning and us all over again. There could even, who knows? Are the Predators going to make any news at some point? I mean, they
Yeah, in October, right? The first game is?
Yeah, probably. I feel like some things might be coming out this week. But with that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays. It is brought to you by Jarrett Companies, Inc., above and beyond industry standards. Electrical services, installations, inspections, upgrades, and replacement. Just visit them online, jarrettcompaniesinc.com.
All right. First, we have Biological Clock Day, Clean Comedy Day. That,
We like
Simpsons are-
that.
Yeah, it's clean, right?
Yeah,
By the way, is your clock ticking?
that's what it says.
Is yours ticking?
Yeah, every day.
Okay.
Why not?
I don't think you know what that means, but that's okay.
You
But
know
yeah,
what?
that's fine.
I'm just reading them.
I love it.
Yeah,
Is that a problem?
that's what you do. You just read them.
There we go. International Pay It Forward Day. There you go. Great Poetry Reading Day. National Cubicle Day. National Blueberry
Boo!
Pie Day. National Kiss Your Mate Day. National Superhero Day.
Of superheroes.
Let's see. Workers Memorial Day. And to wrap it up, we have World Day of Safety and Health and Work.
Well done. All right,
All right.
time for celebrity birthdays. You have to get these within two. Our first birthday is a guy that was in concert here a few weeks ago, comedian Jay Leno. How old is Jay Leno?
Yeah, about
74.
80.
74 dead on. Chaser, you know what? I think he's 75. Hold on. Let me check this list real quick. Then how are we doing there? We having a
We're
good
good,
day?
yeah.
I
How are
think
you?
this is a wrong list here. And it is wrong. All right, 75. Chase, you only get one.
That's fine.
We have a crack staff working back there. So
Good job.
all birthdays advanced a year. Who else we have here? Mary McDonnell. She was in that Kevin Costner movie with Indians and cowboys. Dances with Wolves. Thank you. I couldn't remember the name of it.
62.
71.
73. Dr. Crane's got, well, yeah, right, he's with the one on there. Yeah, I'm 74 years old today. Let's go down here. Actress Penelope Cruz. She is fire.
Well done by you there. Penelope Cruz. She's not married to, no, I'm thinking of,
She's married to the God, Javier Bardem, maybe?
yeah. I
No
want to say
country for
she's
old
like
men?
48.
53.
51.
Yeah.
Dr. Crane's up 2-1.
That's good.
Yeah, you're good, Dr. Crane. Jessica Alba.
40.
The Ageless Wonder, I'm going 51.
38. Tied at 2. Actor, singer, Anne Margaret. Man, she was in a couple of movies with me back in the day. She was a looker. Anne Margaret.
She was in movies with Elvis.
Yep. No, Peyton Manning.
77.
88.
84. Chase, you got to get this one. Rapper Too Short.
Oh, I love Too Short. 52.
50.
59. Tom Brady's baby mama, Bridget Moynihan. How old is she? From Blue Bloods.
58.
57.
54. Rapper Big Gip of the Goody Mob. Come on, man.
53.
50.
53 exactly. Chaser knows his rappers. 4-3 Chaser. Jorge Garcia, he played Hurley on Lost, the big man with curls.
Oh yeah, he's on the album cover for a Weezer album called Herbert.
Yes.
51.
53.
52. That's a push right there in the middle. The Property Brothers, Drew and Jonathan Scott. Probably not.
47.
46.
47 exactly. Chaser's up 6-2. Chaser knows his reality show, guys. Let's see, everybody else there. Go down here. All right, go to the list. Hal Sutton, PGA legend. Hal Sutton.
75.
70.
67. Barry Larkin.
Ricky's hero. 61.
65.
61 exactly. Chaser, you're in good. I mean, you're treading in the territory, buddy. It's up 8-2. John Daly. How old is John Daly?
Uh, 57.
56.
59. Chaser's up 9-2. Remember, the record is 12. It's tied.
Yes.
You got 3 left. Pete Stoyanovich, kicker at Indiana, kicker for the Miami Dolphins. Pete Stoyanovich.
60.
48.
58. Chaser now has 10. We got 2 left. Former Bears safety, USC safety, Mark Carrier. All pro. Great safety.
Did he play with Fisher?
Did not. Oh, I shouldn't have given that. Damn
Thank
it.
you. Did not play with Fisher. 59.
62.
57. Chase has 11. If Chase gets his last birthday head on, he becomes the all-time leader in celebrity birthdays. It's one you should know. Nicholas Lidstrom. How old is Nicky Lidstrom?
Trying to give him a nickname.
I don't know. Nicky? Yeah.
48.
44.
And with that, my goodness, he's 55. You missed. 11-2. But well done, though. What a
Thank
day.
you.
Way to start
Thank
your
you.
Monday off, man.
Thank you very much. That is going to do it for us.
Well done. Look, it's Monday. You made it to the weekend. Our world is a better place because you are here. To our guys out there, if you are struggling, need to talk to somebody on your cell phone, you can call or text 988. You can call us before you do anything. Please talk to someone. Know that God loves you, that we love you, that your journey is a beautiful journey. And after all, we need you here. We need you in this world. It's a better place because you were here. Know that we love you, and also God loves you.
Amen to that. Peace, love, rock and roll, and congrats to Big Joe. 23 years in a row, Nashville's media darling.
Thank you.
DVD coming.